What have I got myself into?
I'm fucking shitting myself.
Well, it is time. So, the other day I woke up and chose violence and I asked for your Sonic hot takes, and you lot definitely gave me quite a few. I gotta tell you boys, I ain't gonna lie, some of these takes are straight fire. Now, I'm gonna try and be as impartial as possible to all of your hot takes, although I probably will agree or disagree with some of them. But at the end of the day, this is all a little bit of fun. Just take what I have to say and any memes that I use to respond to your hot takes with a pinch of salt. Because at the end of the day, deep down, look, we're all Sonic fans, and opinions are like you know what, and we all have them. Obviously, I think this goes without saying, and I know my community is wonderful, and I know you guys wouldn't do this, but if you're new here especially, let's just try and all be respectful and respect each other's opinions, because at the end of the day, that's all they are opinions. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at your Sonic hot takes. And the first group of hot takes comes from none other than Sus Ramirez. If you're part of Not a Sonic Channel's community, you will know exactly who Sus Ramirez is. He's kind of a common name there, which, by the way, bro, thank you for subscribing and thank you for your hot takes. And the thing I admire about Sus Ramirez is that he's not afraid to throw fuel onto the fire, because we're already starting with a pretty big corker. Classic Sonic is way overrated. Okay, I love classic Sonic, but I can understand why people do find the classic games a little bit overrated. I'll be honest, I've gone back and played some of the older ones, and I'll be honest with you, they haven't exactly aged like fine wine. They're still fun, but you know what I mean. So I can kind of understand where you're coming from with this one.
Classic Sonic fans, please do not find out where I live, please. I have a family.
The next hot take that Sus Ramirez has blessed us with is Sonic Adventure 1 is better than Sonic Adventure 2.
Well, no. Right, you get him out of it. Go on, fuck off.
This one's a bit of a funny one for me, because if you told me this a year ago, I would genuinely say 100% this is a hot take. But I've noticed, as of late, more and more people are coming out and having this opinion about Sonic Adventure 1 versus Sonic Adventure 2. I mean, just look at the comments on the post where I asked for your hot takes. I'm pretty sure a good number of people on there have all said the same thing. Obviously, it still qualifies as a hot take to some degree, because at the end of the day, Sonic Adventure 2 is still regarded as one of the greatest Sonic games of all time, if not the greatest by plenty of people. But what I'm trying to say is that it's becoming more common for people to openly criticize Sonic Adventure 2, whereas a year ago, if you did that, yeah, run. Oh, Jesus Christ. You are on a fucking roll, my guy. So Sus Ramirez also claims that Shadow the Hedgehog and 06 are peak. I mean, again, just like with the Sonic Adventure 1 and Sonic Adventure 2 debate, is this even a hot take anymore? I mean, to me it is, because those games are fucking awful. But I've noticed that more and more people are coming out and defending those two games in particular. Oh my fucking Christ. I've just seen more. Sus, you're killing me here. So Sus Ramirez also says that Unleashed is the worst Boost game. Now, let's play devil's advocate here. As all of you may know, Unleashed is my favourite Sonic game in the entire franchise out of all the ones I played, and I've played quite a few Sonic games, and by quite a few, I mean quite a lot. But I can understand why some people don't actually like Unleashed all that much, whether it's the medal collecting, or the werehog, or anything else in between. I get why, but I'd say saying Unleashed is a bad game is actually like quite a spicy take, especially now, because everybody comes out and says that they love the game, and it is getting to the point where people think it's genuinely overglazed. Sus, you are firing on all cylinders, my friend. Oh my god. And ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't think it could get any spicier from Sus Ramirez, just get a load of this. Lost World is peak. Nah, bro, I'm done. I'm done, man. Nah, do you know what, guys? This is your video. I'm out. Obviously, I'm kidding. I'd say this take is actually very spicy, because Lost World is not a game people look back at fondly, and there's even some people who just outright hate the game. What? Sus Ramirez also goes on to say that Forces is peak and is better than Heroes. 06, okay, yeah, that's valid. Unleashed, Colors, and Lost World. Lost World, yeah, valid. Oh boy. If you've seen my Forces video, you know my opinion on Forces. I don't hate the game. I don't love it. Like, Forces to me just exists. I think that is all I can really say about it without going into too much detail. And last but not least, and this is actually quite a relevant one from Sus Ramirez, considering that I'm working on a video about it, Sonic Frontiers is, and I quote, by far the worst game in the franchise. This has got to be rage bait. What? Listen, Sus, that's fine. That's your opinion. That's what we're here for. That's why we call it spicy hot takes. This one, I will admit, kind of struck a nerve. Listen, Frontiers is not the best, right? It does, in my opinion, a lot of things right, but it also does a considerable amount of things wrong. But, Jesus, to say it's the worst! Oh, I don't know about that one, Chief. Oh my god. So those are some spicy hot takes from our friend Seuss Ramirez. Thank you for your hot take, Seuss. You indeed cooked, and you cooked well. Our next hot take comes from JManBeSleepy0. You've got 2 hot takes in here, but I'm only going to include one, considering that we've already covered the whole SA1 is better than SA2 thing. I apologise about that. But your hot take is Sonic 1 is better than all the classic Sonic games. Oof. Oh, that is quite spicy, my friend. Listen, I'll be honest with you, I don't quite understand all of the hate Sonic 1 gets. Like, I've seen so many people genuinely say it's a bad game nowadays. Yeah, compared to all the other games that came out after it, it's very rough around the edges, but we have got to put some respect on Sonic 1's name, because at the end of the day, we wouldn't have this franchise if it wasn't for the first Sonic the Hedgehog game. Thank you for your take, JManBeSleepy. The next take comes in from Murillo Arujo. I apologise if I've completely butchered your name there. Oh, damn, this is a take and a half. Sonic Heroes is a top 3 best Sonic game and better than Adventure 1. You proceed to say that the team concept is fun. I agree, I gotta say, and that the art design is distinct, stands out, and feels very Sonic to you. And, by the way, yes, it does make sense, I know exactly what you mean. You go on to say that the level design in Sonic Adventures 1 and 2 is too realistic. What I get from this is the fact that those levels more or less take place in the real world, so I get where you're coming from with that. The graphics are good, yep. Gameplay is good, yep. And the story is well done. Yeah, I completely agree with all this. But regardless of whether or not I agree or not, it is kind of a hot take to give Heroes any form of praise, because certainly out of the games of Sonic Adventure 1, 2, and Heroes is more often than not the whipping boy. Like, you have people going like, oh yeah, I love Sonic Adventure 1. Wow, I love Sonic Adventure 2. We don't talk about Heroes, though. I ain't gonna lie to you guys, I'll always defend Heroes. Always will. It was my first Sonic game. I genuinely, it is against my nature to hate it. I'm not allowed to hate it by law. The only thing I do kind of disagree with about this take is I wouldn't consider Sonic Heroes a top 3 best Sonic game. Top 5? The argument's there. Top 3 though? Nah, not for me. Thank you for your take, Murillo. I am not even going to try and pronounce the rest of your name because I'm pretty certain I completely butchered it last time, but thank you for your take. The next group of hot takes comes from KKO, and you have come out swinging, haven't you? I mean, you just start off with an absolute belter. 06 is better than Sonic Adventure 2. Alright, I'm just going to say this right now. I don't even know how to respond to this, but then I try and think where it could have been. And that's the thing, I think 06 for me was always the game that could have been, but never was. So I'm literally trying to piece together, KK, you've scrambled my brain. I'm trying to piece together how, on any planet, 06 is better than Sonic Adventure 2. I get people saying that Sonic Adventure 2 is extremely glazed, and that it's not as good as Sonic Adventure 1, or it's not as good as insert game here. But Sonic 06? I mean, the fact that I don't even know how to respond to this. You win. You win. You win. The channel's yours. I'm gone. Oh, we're back in the room. We're back in the room, boys. Sonic Frontiers is better than Sonic Adventure 2. You know what? You might have a case for that one. And I'll also tie this one in with your next hot take, that the Frontiers combat is better than the Werehog combat in Unleashed. Because they're both takes about Frontiers, so I may as well just combine them. Now, I love Sonic Adventure 2, but I cannot deny that it's not exactly aged like fine wine, which you expect from a game from 2001, so it's no surprise. But I'm just going to say this right now. I think Sonic Frontiers does a lot right, like I've alluded to earlier on in the video. Does a lot right. Still has some things it needs to work on. But I think as an overall package, you get more out of Sonic Frontiers than you do Sonic Adventure 2. That's a hot take in itself. I'm probably going to get slaughtered for that, but that's just my opinion. And the combat in Frontiers plays a big part of that. Because I'm just going to say it right now, the combat in Sonic Frontiers, to me, is one of its strongest aspects, and I completely agree that it is better than the Werehog combat. And I'm a Werehog apologist. I love the Werehog, but without a doubt in my mind, Frontiers' combat is absolutely peak. I love how more in-depth it is compared to other Sonic games. I love the skill tree, and I'm hoping that they bring the skill tree back for whatever this next Sonic game is. I think they're going to. I'd be very surprised if they don't. The only thing about Frontiers' combat that I'm not a big fan of, and I'm sure that they will rectify in the sequel, is that sometimes sometimes it can just be a little bit awkward to control. But hey, that's just me clutching at straws, to be honest with you. Sonic Adventure 2 is heavily overrated. KKO, you need to open a restaurant. You'll have about 10 Michelin stars by now. But when you do open that restaurant, we might have to get you armed security. That's all I'm going to say. Obviously, like I said earlier on in the video to suit Ramirez's hot take about Sonic Adventure 1 being better than Sonic Adventure 2, even though more and more people are coming out and criticizing Sonic Adventure 2 more, it still is one of the most beloved games in the franchise, so it still counts as a hot take, even though a lot more people are coming out and trashing on this game. If that's even the right term. Is it really trashing? Hey Siri, what's the definition of trashing? Oh, yeah. Bro just pulls up Wikipedia. You just shut your mouth! I'm sorry, how long's Siri been a thing now? And they still cannot seem to get it to bloody work? And last but not least from KKO, Unleashed handled the boost formula the best. My friend, I concur. Thank you for sending in your takes, KKO. Really appreciate it. Next, we've got some hot takes from Not a Sonic Channel. Obviously, we've addressed one or two of these, so we're only going to cover the ones that we haven't addressed yet. SA2 and Shadow introduced boring, grey level aesthetics that don't interest you quite like how Sonic Adventure 1 and Heroes level design did. Now, I know you've always had this opinion because you have gone on record to say in your videos and your streams that you just don't like the level design of, for example, Shadow 05, like you mentioned. And I think your reason as to why they don't interest you quite like Sonic Adventure 1 and Heroes' levels do is honestly pretty sound logic. I completely agree with what you're saying there. It's like, I'll use an example. The best way I can describe levels like Westopolis is just grey. You know how people refer to things as beige when they call something boring? Honestly, I'd just say grey. Not beige, grey. And that's the problem, and I do want to weigh in on this, especially in games like Shadow 05. It's not like it's just one stage. It's like most, if not all, the stages follow that similar, if not same colour palette. And listen, I understand Edgy the Hedgy had to look dark and brooding, I get it. But can we not just have some variation? From memory, the only stage in Shadow 05 that has any ounce of colour was Circus Park. And even that felt grey. And that's like the most colourful stage in the game. I mean, there is also Digital Circuit, but other than those two stages, I can't really say at the top of my head any colourful, bright stages in Shadow 05. I can't. Your next take is Unleashed is peak, no matter whether it's hated or overglazed. I completely agree. I actually completely agree, as I've probably gone on record to say multiple times in this video already, but I will use any excuse to glaze my beloved Sonic Unleashed. You also think that the original I'm Here is better than the revisited one because the auto-tune on Kellen is excessive, sometimes matching his note to the wrong key, and his vocal range doesn't fit the song. Now, Not a Sonic Channel, I won't even contest you on this. I personally prefer Revisited slightly. I like both versions, but I slightly prefer Revisited. But like I say, I'm not even going to step to you on this one because you know what you're talking about when it comes to music. My knowledge of music goes as far as listening to music, and that's it. I don't make music, I've never really studied music. All I do is listen to it, so I don't even have any rebuttal to give you on that one. And the last one on yours that we haven't covered is Fist Bump is actually pretty good once you get past the cheesiness. You know what? I agree. I completely and wholeheartedly agree. Initially, I didn't really like Fist Bump when I first heard it, but after replaying through Forces quite recently, I've actually grown to really like the song and like Sonic Forces soundtrack as a whole. I think the soundtrack in Forces is one of the things it absolutely nails, but that's my opinion. Thank you for your takes, Not a Sonic Channel. I agree with pretty much all of them that I've read out. Ninja Joe 222 keeps it short and sweet with Shadow is overrated. I'm assuming you mean Shadow as a character and not the game, because the game sure as shit is not overrated. Now, my top 3 Sonic characters are Sonic, Tails, and Shadow. Shadow and Tails can kind of swap places, but Sonic is number 1 for me. And listen, I'll hear you out. I kind of agree. I mean, I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure Shadow is like one of the only characters, if not the only character in the entire franchise to have a complete sub-fandom dedicated to him. Like, to say he is beloved is the understatement of the century. And listen guys, if you're massive Shadow fans and Shadow is your favourite character, overrated doesn't mean bad. Overrated just means that somebody just personally thinks they get a little bit too much love. Something or someone can be overrated and still be very good. Thank you for your short and sweet hot take, Ninja Joe. Have a good day. We've got a couple of hot takes coming from Blue Sam 69 next. If it's okay, Blue Sam, I want to paraphrase your comment if I can. If you guys want to read it in full, then feel free to pause the video. You say that Sonic & Knuckles on its own is the worst of the classic games that you have played, and you go on to mention that you've not played Superstars. Now, between you and me, guys, I actually don't hate Superstars that much, but then again, I did get it when it was on a massive sale, so maybe that might be influencing my opinion on Superstars, I don't know. And you basically go on to say that the game starts off pretty solid, like pretty good actually, but then after a certain point, it just isn't as as good as what it was. You go on to mention that Sandopolis and Flying Battery are two of the worst classic Sonic zones, and you follow it up with that the other classic games are a little bit more consistently good and consistently enjoyable. And then you add another hot take of your own. You say that you think Sonic CD is the best of the classic games. You love the element of the time travel and finding the robot generators, and you think that the game has a lot of replayability. You think it's really fun on repeat playthroughs to find new ways of getting the generators more quickly. Now, I want to start off with the Sonic CD take, because I think that's quite interesting. I'll be honest, guys, as a kid, I never played Sonic CD. I've only just started playing it, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, so far so good. Like, I don't really hear that many people praising Sonic CD. Like, whenever anybody's talking about the classic games, they talk about 1, 2, 3, Sonic and Knuckles, and Mania, but I very rarely hear anyone saying any praise about CD at all. So I appreciate the hell out of this. And in terms of your first take, all I've got to say, bro, is run. Lock your doors, hide. Because what you just said, for me personally, doesn't bother me. But for a lot of people, it's gonna tick them off a little bit, and now I feel bad putting your name on blast. I apologise. Thank you, Blue Sam, for your hot takes. I hope to see you back in my comment section soon. Right, we're only going to fit a couple more in because this video is going to get insanely long if I don't call it somewhere. If your hot takes don't make it in this video, please don't feel bad, because there is a good chance that I'll make a follow-up video, including all the ones I didn't manage to fit in this one. Trust me, I would love to fit all of your guys' hot takes in this video, but I would be here probably all week just trying to digest these things, because I had absolutely no idea how much this was going to blow up, so I think this is going to be a two-parter. So just watch this space for part 2. Like I say, if you weren't in this one, there's a good chance you'll be in the next one. Our next hot take comes from Barry M2N3S. I'm going to call you Baz, if that's alright. So, you basically say you haven't enjoyed a Sonic soundtrack since Sonic Mania. Although you did also make a follow-up comment saying how you enjoyed Force's music, which, first of all, I completely agree. Like I said earlier on in the video, I think the soundtrack in Force's is pretty peak, actually. You go on to say how Colors Ultimate basically took the Colors soundtrack and made it worse. I kind of agree. You say the soundtrack in Superstars is extremely inconsistent. I'll be honest with you, I don't really remember that many songs, if any, from Superstars. You say the soundtrack of Shadow Generations went in one ear and out of the other. Again, I kind of agree. I can't really name you any piece of soundtrack from Shadow Generations. You say the remixes in Crossworlds get on your nerves. I can respect that. I understand that. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Crossworlds soundtrack, but I also don't hate it. And you also finish off by saying if you remove the boss battle themes from Sonic Frontiers, it has by far the second worst soundtrack in the entire series. Well, I don't know if you said by far, but you certainly said second worst soundtrack in the series. To which I say, fair. I mean, I can't really tell you any of the cyberspace stage music that actually stands out to me, nor can I really tell you any of the open zone music that stands out to me either. You add on to that as well, it's got the worst music in the main games by far. Yikes. I think they put all their soundtrack eggs in the boss battle music. I won't lie to you guys, honestly, because Big Baz over here has got a point. Can any of you at all, name me any song from Sonic Frontiers other than the Titan themes that kind of stands out? I'm not going to lie to you, this isn't really a hot take to me. This is just valid. That's what it is. Thank you for submitting your hot takes, Barry. I actually really enjoyed reading these ones. Our final hot take of the video comes from Samir Johnson 4524. You go on to say that the original Sonic Adventure is kind of overrated. Damn! Which, by the way, let me remind people, overrated doesn't mean bad. I mean, Samir Johnson himself actually says that it's still good. He does seem to think it's a little bit unfair how Sonic Adventure 1 gets this monumentous praise, whereas Sonic Adventure 2 is kind of kicked to the curb nowadays. Samir does acknowledge, though, that a lot of Sonic's best stages do actually come from Sonic Adventure 1, but isn't afraid to acknowledge that some of the stages are misses. I love that, by the way. Tails is discount Sonic. Oh, that actually tickled me. The phrasing on that is elite. You say Knuckles and Gamma are fairly fun, which I've heard is a general consensus with Sonic Adventure 1. Like, when people talk about which characters are the best to play as, from what I've heard, people usually say Sonic, Knuckles, and Gamma. Usually. But you also say it suffers from the same problems that the Tails stages do, that they're too easy and short. You say that you find Amy to be a little bit too slow, but you like the idea behind Amy's stages. You say Zero is no problem because you can just keep whacking him. Yeah, fair point. And then you finish that off with the fact that Amy only gets 3 stages. That's insane. You don't need to speak about Big from what I've heard from everyone is that big stages are easily the worst in this game, and it's not even close. You find the constant reuse of bosses and the replaying of cutscenes with only very slight variations to be a little bit repetitive. Let's be honest, it's not the only Sonic game guilty of this, although other Sonic games probably do it better. Honestly, this take is pretty juicy, pretty spicy actually. Like, I can tell a lot of thought went into this one. Not saying a lot of thought didn't go into the other ones, but this one's quite in depth for one take. I say it's one take, it's an amalgamation of takes about one game. Yeah, Samir, honestly, yeah, you're entitled to your opinion. I'm sure there'll be plenty of people out there who will disagree with you, but that's fine, that's what we're here for. Hot takes are meant to be hot takes, and you've delivered a hot take. Thank you so much for your hot take, Samir. I really appreciate it. And ladies and gentlemen, that is where we conclude this video today. Trust me, I would have loved to have fit you all in this video, but I just did not anticipate how many takes I would be getting. If you didn't make it into this video, don't you worry, I will be making a follow-up, because as I'm recording this, I am still receiving your hot takes. So there's a very good chance that I'm going to be recording a second part. So any takes that I missed will be included in the next video. I promise you that. I will probably commence recording that sometime this week, and then I'll try and have it out by the following week. Remember guys, this is all just a bit of fun games. We're just here to have a laugh. If you disagree with any of these hot takes, just please be respectful in the comments. That's all I ask for. I'm extremely confident that you guys will keep it respectful, but just for my peace of mind, I just have to say it. If you've only just stumbled across this video and you have some hot takes of your own that haven't been covered in this video, make sure to leave them in the comments below. Again, if you left a hot take and it's not been covered in this video, don't feel bad, fear not, you will be included in the follow-up. I promise you that. Anyway guys, this was a lot of fun. Until next time, adios.